Hello, ladies. First of all, thank you so much for your patience at my workshop. Due to some technical challenge, wasn't able to share with you the slides I wanted to do during the workshop. And I hope you enjoy my quick video of the workout that I did separately for you. Well, these are the slides I wanted to share with you. A little bit about myself, and then we dig into helping you getting to know your body. What is it that you need to change your body? Well, for me, it was the biggest desire to be better, to help the people around me. So how can we help others when we're not able to help ourselves? So here's a great quote: if you want to take care of others, then start taking care of yourself first. So that's my biggest reason to do what I do, not just physically, but emotionally, professionally, and spiritually. So like Tony Robbins said, you probably already have all the resources out there to help you. And what about the mindset, right? He always say psychology accounts for 80% of our success. Well, strategy only accounts for 20. So I'm here literally just give you the quick 20% of the things that you need to change your body fast. So bear with me. I'm going to show off a little bit about myself, my achievement in the past, right? So here, yep, showing off my achievement. This is the last one that I did and got first place after multiple competitions. Again, it takes time to achieve to the top, to get what you want. A lot of mistakes at the beginning. So this is the proudest moment here. Some of the ladies here standing beside me that have their half my age. And of course, this first one didn't know what I was doing, and then got better as I do more. Again, these are the people in my life, my children, my family, that push me to do more, to become a better version of myself. Okay, and just a little bit myself, my mom and my mother-in-law, who inspire me to chase what I want in life. My mother-in-law is always looks 20 years younger than her age. I lived with her for 20 years, so I learned a few things about how to stay healthy. So I grew up humble. I was just a village girl who always have a dream, who always want to know what's out there, who always wanted to know what I can do to be better. Curiosity was a thing in me. Okay, so if anything I ask of you is really be kind to others. That's something I have in me, to be happier for ourselves, always to be happy for other people. And that is something I want you to keep in mind, and to attract things in your life. Even a simple idea, a beautiful body. So when we're happy with ourselves, we are more likely to attract things in our life. So keep that in mind. Right? So I wasn't always this lean and toned, especially here in my late 40s. I did not have the power to change my life. I didn't know the skill, right? So some people ask me, oh, you show me a before and after picture. Earlier picture, you saw me when I was pregnant. I gained 50 pounds. So I was reaching 50. I eat just like everyone else. Got a lot of challenges. So I didn't know the skill set. So I went and competed on stage, learned a few things, and I realized, I can help other women get the same thing. So enough about me. It's about you. What is it that you want? One of the biggest mistakes women make is focusing too much on the weight loss and not fat loss. When they enter their the fitness industry, people do not focus on weight loss. They focus a lot on fat loss and increase lean muscle mass. You never hear someone in the gym ask, what is your weight? They always ask, what is your body fat? What is your muscle mass now? Why? It's because your weight, oh, too fast here. Oh, right here. Your weight doesn't really equal to what you really look like. See, there's two individuals here, the same pound, 60 kg, 60 kg, but they do not look the same. So when women only focus on a number on the scale, quite often they get depressed when they weight themselves and lighter, but they still don't look good in their clothes and in front of the mirror. So something I wanted to share with you. So keep in mind that your body fat and body weight are not the same. See right here, 30% body fat, while here 21% body fat and 190 pounds on the same picture, right? So very important, not obsess with your weight, okay? And it's also because muscles and body fat have different purposes in your body. See, muscles here more dense and it's firm, and all the qualities that muscle can do, while I put it right here, while fat, it's bigger in volume. And we all know that most of the diseases that we have right now are caused because people are obese, right? So something to keep in mind. And here is what 5 pounds of body fat and 5 pounds of muscle look like. So all this visual that I am showing you is because I want you to see the reason why we need to lower body fat and increase more muscle mass, and why it's important to keep focusing on reducing fat, but at the same time really introduce resistant exercise, because resistant exercise really are the key factors to building more muscles or maintaining your muscle mass. Because a lot of women are afraid to go to the gym and start lifting some weights. They are afraid that they will get bulky. Okay, we want to go back here. Apologize, right here. And what is it that? Oops, sorry about that. One more here. Now is, what is it that you want? What type of body fat that you wanted to work towards to, right? The reason I put this up is because a lot of women wanted to look healthy, wanted to look like leaner and taller, but without that number, it's hard to work towards to. See, all these numbers, 30%, 36%, 30%. I believe majority of women are anywhere from 27 to 30, and they wanted to work towards maybe perhaps 21 or to 23, and the 18 to 14% are really the people, the ladies who are in the bodybuilding sort of process. So just something that you can take a look where you want. So whatever you want, it has to be a little bit more specific, so you can use something to keep track. All right, so here, this is me on stage. That body, I was probably around 18 to 20%. And I have to be honest with you, it's hard to maintain that figure, because this figure, I have to be very strict. Now I'm more like 21 to 23, and sometimes even 24, 25. But this stage, I was probably 18, 20. Okay, a little bit of water depletion right here, so to get that lean look. Okay, but some of you probably already have muscles and just needed to reduce your body fat, right? So here is my normal off-seasoned body, all right? So, and then, okay, like I said, weight loss is not an accurate indicator of how you look and feel in your clothes because of that, okay? And, okay, and how do you measure your body fat? Well, a lot of us don't know how to do it. Even family doctors or medical professionals don't have the means to do that. So what we recommend is get yourself a body measurement scale. And besides the body fat and muscle mass, this scale also measures many stuff inside your body that you might not be aware of, all right? So this is really powerful. Even water, body water as well. Okay, so these are the body measurements out there in the market that you can look into investing. Okay, and another issue that I wanted to mention in this presentation is when women wanted to look good or wanted to change your body, first thing they do is they stop eating. And what happened when you stop eating? Your metabolism slows down. So your body, inside your body, your organs, your kidney, your stomach, they all need nutrients as they function, right? How can you have those organs function well when you don't feed it? So, and if you don't feed it from outside, your body will take it from inside. When you lose body weight, you might lose some body fat, but you also lose a lot of muscle mass and maybe other tissues that are used to keep you alive daily, like the way you're breathing, even when you're sitting down, like the way your body carries nutrients to the rest of your body. It needs good food to be able to function well. And so that's what happens when you don't eat. Slows down your metabolism, and then when your metabolism slows down, it affects everything in your body. Your body is like a powerful, inside your body is very powerful. Every pieces have to work together like a car, like your car, right? What happens if the engine doesn't work? What happens if the oil part doesn't have enough oil? Your car doesn't run smooth, right? And your body is very similar to your car in that sense. If you can think about how your body works and using how your car works, I hope this will help you really filter what goes into your body. I mean, you wouldn't put like cheap gas in your car, would you? Then why would you not protect your body from toxic substance? So something to keep that in mind. Okay, so like I said, right, if you already have some, for example, some extra body fat or extra skin or just things that you wanted to improve in your body, we don't just again hide it, but we find ways to do that. All right, so it's understanding now earlier what you want, and now let's understand what your body need to change. Your body is very different. It's a separate entity. What you want and what your body needs. Understand it first. Like your kids, for example, if you already have kids, what does each of your kids need to be at their most happiest moment. So your body is the same way. Each of us are not the same in terms of how our bodies are built. Okay, we were born with certain structures, and that structure cannot be changed. For example, your skeleton, the way your body distributes your body mass, like where the fat are distributed, that is genetic inherited, like from your parents. But how you can lower the body fat and how you tone those muscles is up to you, right? So like I said, our bodies are not the same. The way it burns energy, okay, because we have different muscles and skeleton and distribution of body fat, okay. Then this is exactly the same. If someone who has more lean muscle, this person would more likely to burn more energy than someone who has less, because it takes more energy to move through the muscles, because the muscles are denser and nutrients need more energy to move through muscles than fat. Fats are soft and easily poked through, right? So can you imagine, just when you're at home cooking, cutting something soft and cutting something hard. So now understanding where you are, what type of body you have. Oops, sorry about this. Oops, okay, there we go. Okay, let me see. Okay, so all of us fall into 3 of these body types. Knowing them will help you determine when to feed your body with, for example, protein, carb, and fat. For example, someone who is an ectomorph have to eat a little bit different than when someone who has a body type like a Mesomorph and Endomorph, right? So you can tell the 3 different body types. Coach Allan will go deeply into that in his presentation. I am here just to guide you. It's important to understand your body in order to change it, all right? So there we go. And this is more about the type of workout and what type of workout. Oh my god. And now you can actually go in the mirror and where you fall into these 3 different body types, okay? And some of us actually might find it difficult to see where we fall. So even though these 3 pictures here are very similar, but you can tell the slightness in the glutes and the hamstring that will help you determine which of this you fall into. The first one is Ectomorph, the second one is Mesomorph, really almost like a perfect built body. And then the third one has a little bit more of a bulky look, right? So just because someone who is ectomorph can eat all day long doesn't mean an endomorph like this one can eat all day long, right? They have a different purpose. For example, an ectomorph, if she doesn't eat before she goes to the gym, she will lose muscle. Well, an endomorph probably's got muscles in her body and she might only need to lose some body fat. So she might not eat before she goes to the gym because her goal is to lose some body fat. And the goal of an ectomorph, for example, is to increase more muscle mass. All right. So different body require different diet and different workout plan. Okay. And Coach Allan will go through deeply into those for you. Something else in mind is 70% of the success, how you look like, come from your diet. Yes, come from your diet. And 30% from training. So it's very important to remember this. Training is supposed to just literally break the fiber so the fiber can grow back with good nutrients and supplement, and of course recovery, which is your sleep. So 70% from your diet. All right. So, and of course, another thing I wanted to mention for you to remember is water. A big part. Water is a must. And I notice so many women are not drinking enough. Just imagine a tree or a plant in your house. What happens when you don't water it? It becomes dry. So you might think that you have enough water, but there is a guideline that what happens when you have enough water in your body, you will start to feel better. Think about your body. Everything in your body needs to move around. Nutrients in your blood need to go to places. Your organs are made of water, right? It needs water to help it to transport to the rest of your body. And so water is very important in help you digest, absorb, and getting rid of the things that you do not want in your body. So a big part. And that's something I wanted to make sure that you have enough water in this transformation process. Okay, because you will be eating good food, like more complex food, and those complex food require water, more water to transport to the rest of your body. Okay, so okay, let me see. So that, and how much water is different for each person. The bigger you are, the more water you need to drink. But there's a specific number or general guideline that we recommend. It's half an ounce to 1 ounce of water per each pound of your body weight. So if you are 100 pounds, you need to drink minimum 50 ounces throughout the day. Of course, not at the same time. And of course, you don't have any other medical issues. If you do, I recommend you consult your medical professionals. All right. I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing you that water is a big part in my transformation, and sharing with you that in order for you to get results fast, please have enough water content daily. Okay. And then we talk about cardio and weights. Why so important? Because if you want to look lean, you need to have resistant exercise. And of course, weights is literally considered resistant exercise. Cardio is good. Cardio, it burns energy. It burns calories. But doing cardio, you burn, of course, lots and lots of calories. But when you do weights, you build muscles. So we talk about muscles, right? When you have muscles, you can have a higher metabolism, throughout the day. But when people do cardio, cardio is great to reduce body fat at that moment. But after that, your body's metabolism is not the same as when you do resistant exercise, right? So here's the difference between cardio and weights. Burns extra calories, improves blood flow, good for recovery, reduce stress, and all these things. But resistant exercise, when you do weights, it builds sexy muscles, builds you stronger, makes you stronger, burns calories at rest. That means when you're sitting down, right? It reduces stress, and it, of course, it looks good. When you have more muscles, it makes you look lean and toned. So something I wanted to emphasize. Oh, and different types of cardio that you can do. And then for some of us, it's important to start slow. If you have never done any training in the past, so this is some of the resistance exercise that you can do. All right, so as long as you are increasing your heartbeat, doesn't matter what type of exercise. Sometimes if you wanted to increase your metabolism, okay, and some exercise for your tummy most women want, and that you can do at home, that I do a lot at home. And just because they are slow, low impact, doesn't mean you won't be able to build, but with repetitions, with different intensity between these different sets. For example, if you do 2 sets, as long as the time between the sets are short, you can actually get a lot of burn in your tummy or areas. So for some of the people you probably sometimes recognize in the gym, they take a long break and then start over. It's not the same thing as when you continue to do exercise after one another, so you get the maximum result. Because when you are when you have a shorter duration, your muscles are still quite burned, and you give it a little bit more stress, more stimulations, it grows faster. All right, okay. And of course, we're going to talk about calories. They are not created equal. Why? Is because look at oil. Calories come from oil and vegetable. See, they are not the same. So just picture, just give you an idea to be more aware what you put in your body. Calories are important. If your body is not able to burn all the calories, doesn't matter what it is, calories are calories. They're energy in your body, right? So what do? If you don't burn the calories, they store in your body as fat. Okay, so take a look at this. 400 calories of vegetable, you get all that. So when you have that in your tummy, it makes you feel full, and you eat some oil or butter, so you don't feel full. So have a feeling when you have more food and less food. So see the difference? If your tummy is already filled with vegetable, it's going to let you know that it cannot have any more food. But when you have high calorie food like oil in your tummy, it only takes such a small amount of space. That means your tummy is telling you to eat more and then add more calories. So this is why you must focus on the type of calorie that goes in your body, right? So, and also something to recognize as well, when you go out to eat, see the difference in here? Just 2 delicious meal right here. Even though they look the same, but in terms of calories, they are not the same. Remember, you don't burn all the calories in your body. It's going to store them in your hips, in your tummy area. So there we go, right? So recognize the grams of fat. This is 83 grams of fat, while this is only 19. And even though this one has more protein, 52 grams, but the calories is higher, you can have this one right here, 1280, if you do enough exercise to burn these calories. So figuring out the calories and all the different fat and carb here makes a huge difference in how your body will change. Okay, how do you keep track of what you eat? Well, I recommend MyFitnessPal or Lucid. You can actually get this app on your phone, the Play Store, or wherever you usually go download app. And it's amazing app. It keeps track of the calories, the macro, I mean the protein, the carb, and fat that you get from food. So make you aware of what you're putting in your body. The goal is to be aware of what you put in your body that that you need to change. All right. Okay. Okay. How your body burns calories is also not the same. Okay. Okay. We're also going to mention a little bit about why whole food is still better than processed food. That's because it's healthy. Because it's something else that I want you to recognize. Whole food right here. Okay, right here. Right here. Okay, here. Okay, it's because the thermatic effect of food. What does that mean? Well, it means it takes more energy inside your body to digest, to process the food. For example, if you have some body, if you have some fat, your body only needs a small amount of energy to process the fat, while it takes more energy to digest the yam and the chicken, both protein, right? So besides chicken is healthier, it makes your body burn more fat. For example, if your goal is to, for example, to melt some extra body fat. So if you eat chicken, your body is going to use a lot of energy probably perhaps from your fat, to use to digest and absorb the chicken breast versus the yam. Okay, it says here. All right. Okay, and of course, this is a better example. Right, even if you consume, for example, a piece of chicken and it's only 100 calories. What if your body needs 200 calories to digest the chicken? So your body is using more energy than you actually taking in. So that is the way to lose the extra calories from your body, is because you are expending more than you take. Okay, so this is the amount of calories it takes to digest the food. Each macro has a different level of TSF, calories burned, and makes up about 10 to 20% of your calorie burn. So your body only have to use 4% of their energy to burn a piece of avocado, and then 47% of carb from bread. Well, because bread are soft, right? So your body doesn't have to work that hard to chop it up inside your body. So less energy is used. Okay, and also protein and veggie requires more of your body energy to digest. So if your goal is to lose some extra body fat, have more food that has a higher TEF. Okay, okay. Now, what it explains is that food that need your body organs to work harder and generate more fuel from existing fuel fat to digest, absorb, and eliminate waste. Okay, so it's something I wanted to share with you here. Some of the food that has higher TEF makes your body work harder to digest, besides the nutrients in whole food, right? So when your body is working harder inside, it means it is increasing your metabolic weight. All right, so means, or another thing I wanted to mention was having food that are more alkaline versus acidic inside your body, right? Meat, I was told that, or even experienced myself, has a higher, stronger acidity inside our body. So because I was told that what happens when your body is more acidic, more disease, more inflations are more likely to occur. So another reason that we recommend food in is more natural form, like here, asparagus, all this vegetable, right? And most of the food that are acidic are alcohol, soda, sugar, and bread, right? You wanted to have more alkaline environment inside your body. So this is what it means by um, it's important to have food that are in its natural form. That's another reason that I want to bring this up. Okay, and last thing I wanted to bring up is you can never out train. I mean, poor choices in food. Think about this, right? It's simply burger, fries, and drink your lunch meal 1,000 calories, and it takes almost an hour to burn not even half of that. So again, 70% of what you eat come from your diet. Okay, and of course, very important in helping your transformation is sleep. Sleep is so important, and we all know, you probably know this as well. When we don't have good sleep, it affects the rest of our day, affect our choices, affect our energies, and some of the choices are not making choices in what we put in our body as well. So one of the ways to do that is getting some supplements. I recommend for myself, I mean, I use this myself, is having magnesium and zinc to help you get that quality sleep. My coach also explained about that as well, but I use magnesium and zinc before I go to bed, and then you will wake up feeling really fresh. And not just that, during sleep, your body changes. I was told, and some research showed that during sleep, your body fat goes down. Something inside we're not aware of, but something I experienced for myself. I was working out and I was eating well, but my body fat was still high. So recovery was something I wasn't fully sort of trained in that area. So sleep is part of recovery. So once I started using magnesium and zinc right before my competitions, my body fat started to reduce, and that's why I was able to place top three. All right, so something it worked for me, and again, you have to share. I mean, you have to experiment it for yourself. It's important to know when you take it. Okay, not in the morning, but before you go to bed. Right? In a recipe, you have to know the good timing, the quality and quantity. All right, and then my supplements I wanted to share with you. Protein powder, something I do every day for a couple of reasons to maintain my muscles. An important thing that I find protein powder, it really helps stop my craving, right? And if I don't take it in the morning, I will be like eating a lot of food for lunch and dinner and still not feel full, adding a lot of extra calories. So protein powder will maintain your hunger level at a steady rate. I mean, you still need to eat, but it just helps that sense, not, I mean, to stop your cravings and stop your craving for junk food, sugar, right? So this is something I recommend. Start taking quality protein powder, and then of course magnesium, and then for pre-workout. Pre-workout is when you are in the gym. Some of the pre-workout I take is to increase my endurance in the gym, and that's when I when I was preparing for my competition, I needed to work extra hard. If you are not preparing for competitions, it's just an optional thing. It's something, it's a choice. You don't need to, but it's just something I do. So my list when I work out hard. And then the next one, probiotics. I use that because it's good bacteria that we need in our body to fight the bacteria, bad bacteria. So something that was recommended by my coach. And digestive enzymes. Because I find that some of the food that I have, for example, like dairy, I have challenged. I didn't even know that I am like lactose intolerant. So, and once I start taking digestive enzymes, I would able to feel better. So digestive enzymes just help your body break down the food in your body faster. All right, so something on my list that I do daily. Okay, so thank you so much. This is a presentation that I meant to share with you, and Coach Allan will come in sharing his experience and in the fitness to help you get your body toned and lean. So thank you so much again. Okay. Let me introduce Coach Allan coming in to share his gift. And we have Dottie, Marlene, Pretty, and Hillary.
Hi, everyone. Ladies, so nice to have all of you here. I'm very, I feel fortunate. I feel really excited to be a part of this because normally when we do these kind of calls, it's usually me running the show. I'm the one that pulls out the old school whiteboard and I'm drawing stuff left, right, and center that looks super over the top comical. And this is actually Helen's first time where she said to me, hey, Allan, don't show up for the first hour. Like she told me herself, I'm nervous, I'm scared a little bit because I don't run Zooms on my own, but I got to do this, Allan, and you can't be there or else I'm going to be extra nervous. So just get out my way and let me take care of this. So I want to say real quick that I know it's nerve-wracking. I mean, ladies, you can probably agree how nerve-wracking it can be to host calls like this. And she did it. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect. That's one of our mottos. It never has to be perfect. We just got to try because eventually we'll get it done. So Helen, good job. Really good
I wanted to have the class with music on, like the music outside, and then the music didn't turn up, and then my slide prepared for it didn't show up. It disappeared.
Stuff happens. It's okay.
It's okay. It's on here, so I apologize.
Ladies, you got to admit, you got to admit, like despite all of the technical whatevers, you got to admit this woman is super passionate about trying to get this stuff into your hands. That just the little things that don't go right, she freaks out about it. Because it's not about her. Like she really wants to share this with you on a Saturday afternoon when we all could be doing something else, right? But yet she chose to be here to spend that time with you. And she's super thankful that you're taking part even now. So I just really wanted to say that. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. We really, really appreciate all of you. And I know you've been waiting for some. Hey, I just saw somebody come up there. How's it going, bro? I know that all of you want to see the meat and potatoes of this. So we're going to dive right in because one of the things that everyone tends to ask us is, Helen, how did you do it? Like, how did you, you look at her now and she's 54 and you would never know. Like most people never know that she never stepped foot into a gym until age 49. Okay, like she played some tennis, she did some swimming here and there. She had 3 kids. I mean, I've never been pregnant. I'm not a female since the last time I checked, but I understand what women have to go through when they have kids, when they have a family, when they have to work hard. And when at the end of the day, everybody else ends up getting taken care of, and then you end up being the last one. I mean, ladies, do me a favor. I love being interactive. Just hit it in the chat box. How many of you can appreciate what I'm talking about here? Where you take care of your kids, you take care of your husband, you do your work, you pay your bills, everything else gets taken care of, and then it's like, well, what's left for me? What's the energy that's left for me, right? I'm sharing this because when I first met Helen, Helen was literally at that stage where her kids have finally, to what I understood, they'd grown up, they're going into university during that time. They're getting their full-time jobs or part-time jobs. They no longer want to spend that much time with mom because they want to go do their own thing. And Helen was left going, oh, wow, I've got all this time now. What the heck do I do? And one of the first things she said is, I want to take the challenge of transforming my body. And I don't know if Helen shared this story with you. Sometimes she doesn't. If this sounds repetitive, please forgive me. I just feel it's super valuable before I lay out the meat and potatoes to you, because everyone has a driver. So I'm going to ask you, as you listen to this story, ask yourself, do you know your driver? Do you know your driver? Driver as in like, what's that thing that moves you? What's that thing that even makes you want to be on this call? And you don't have to type that in, but just ask yourself and make sure that you're fully aware of it. Because as we share the story and as we share with you exactly what we pieced together for her, you're going to notice that me and her especially, she had her road bumps. She had the things that would normally hold people back. She had the things where, friends and some relatives looked at her and said, Helen, you have this goal of trying to look young again. You're 49. You got 3 kids. You don't know what you're doing in the gym. You've never done this before. You're not even familiar with nutrition. What makes you think that you can do this? Like, I don't know about you, but have you ever had somebody doubt you when you said, hey, I'm going to go after this goal and I've never done it before, but I don't know even how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to go after and do it. Like, have any of you ever had that experience? Probably, right? Most of you said probably, and that's the reason why we're here. Helen is no different. And this is really important to remember, because as I divulge this info, here's the number one thing that all of us have a tendency to go to from time to time. And I want to eradicate it before it becomes an issue. And that one little thing is, and you tell me, okay, if you've ever had this happen to you. You see something really awesome. You think, oh my God, this is something really cool. It's amazing. This is going to be great for me. And then you say to yourself some version of, well, can I do it? Is this something that I can really do for me? Like, I know that she's doing it. She's done it. In this case, it's Helen. Helen looks fantastic, of course. But can I do it? I'm bringing this up because it's just a kind reminder that all of us start off with that doubt. If not in the very beginning of our journey, then it's somewhere in the middle or during the process. I just want to kindly remind you, as a friend, even though it's our first time meeting here, like, I feel a connection with you because all of you have a similar challenge, desire, need that Helen had and still has up to today, which is what's bringing us all here together. I want to remind you that if you have that feeling in you, take her as the example to squash it, because this is a mom who didn't, she looks like she's had 20 years experience, but she hasn't. How she looks right now took us 9 months to produce. And when people meet her, they go, oh my goodness, you must have been going to the gym for 10 years, 5 years. You must have done like all these crazy things. You must have been working out for 4 hours a day. You must be like those women on YouTube. They wake up and they're doing bench press first thing in the morning. I don't know what's going through your head. I don't know. But if ever you get that feeling, I want you to remember, like, look at her. And I want you to use her as the example that because she did it, you literally can do it too. And the only thing, like one of my old coaches told me this a long time ago. I'm going to pull up the old board here. I'm very old school. Helen's a lot more modern than I am. So forgive me if this is like 1980 something, okay? Bear with me. But one of my old coaches said years ago, he said, if this is you and this is your goal, we're supposed to, oh, there we go. Let me get this a little bit closer. There we go. We're supposed to be able to take whatever goal we want and just go for it. The problem for most people is that as they go for their goal, they have a tendency to have this mental block of some type. The mental block usually says, I'm not capable, I'm not good enough, I'm not whatever. And what happens is along the journey, they just end up dropping and falling to the ground. This by far is the number one problem that I've ever discovered when training new people, when training individuals that have come from a background of fitness or not. It's 80% of the time, it's not the how-to. I mean, let's face it, we're on this call together, but if you weren't here, you could easily, like how many of you before coming here have gone onto YouTube, have gone onto Google, have talked to a friend, have talked to somebody and said, man, how do you do it? Like, how do you make that shift? How do you get young again? How do you get strong again? How do you get lean again? How do you make your, I talk about butts because females come to me asking for a glute transformation. It's the number one thing next to like tummies and arms, and I respect it. I totally get it. But that's you can go on Google and say, well, how do I transform my butt? How do I tone my arms? You can find that information out there. It's not that hard. What I find is that the belief factor from getting from where you are to where you want to be, 80% of the problems come from the belief that you can actually attain it. And that's why I'm stressing this to be so important, because the moment you get that feeling, please remember, I don't know if any of you guys are Tony Robbins fans, or I'm sure some of you guys are, right? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, Marlene, hey, there you go, right? He says it all the time. He says, if you can find one person, just one, who has the result that you want to accomplish, that means that you can do it too. You just have to find out. And he says this all the time. I would make a note of this if you haven't heard this before. He said there's 3 major factors that you need before taking on any type of change. Okay. He said, number 1, you got to find out what is their belief system. What is their belief? That's supposed to be a B. That looks like, I don't know what the heck that looks like, but we'll call it a B. Okay. It's a B. B for beliefs. Thank you so much. I am a horrible drawer, by the way, but I love doing it because as a child, they just never let me do that much in school. So I'm making up for lost time. A is belief. He said, you got to find out, what does that person believe that's allowing them the ability to go and do what it is they do? So if you can attain that belief, like find out what they really believe about themselves, you can learn to adopt that system of believing for yourself. And then number 2, he said, you want to find out what is, that's supposed to be an H, what's their daily habit? Now, when I say habit, I don't mean from like morning till night, everything that they do, from how, who they talk to, what, I don't mean any of that. I just mean if they're getting a particular goal, during the goal accomplishment time, like with Helen, when she was training, you want to find out what was she doing on a day-to-day basis to produce such a fast result. And it was fast. Like 9 months for some people isn't that fast. But if you compare 9 months to the 49 years that she's been alive, you got to ask yourself, that's relatively quick to go from where she was to where she is today and still be able to maintain that result, which, by the way, I'm talking about her, but really I'm talking about you too. Like what she's done is literally what you can do when you learn to adopt what she learned to believe about herself, and you learn what her daily habits was during that routine process, right? The last part that you want to know, and we're going to dig a little bit more into that in a second here, is the third part. Outside of the habits, There's one thing that Tony always talks about, and my past instructors always do a daily check-in with me when I was learning under several of them. And that's supposed to be an E. Okay. And that was, or this stands for, your level of energy. Energy. Now, why is that important? I mean, this sounds so basic. It's almost like grade 1 stuff. Like, why, Allan? Why is this? Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that when you're really, really tired, doing the most basic thing, like going to the fridge and getting something to eat, or walking downstairs to go walk your dog, or to go to the grocery store, it just feels incredibly daunting? Like, I know I have to do this, but I don't want to do this. Or the more common one I hear, I'm just so lazy, Allan. I don't know. I know I'm supposed to do this, but I'm lazy. No, 99% of the time, we are not lazy. It's the fact that the energy level, like when you're trying to go after a transformation of some type, you're trying to tone your arms, you're trying to flatten your tummy, you're trying to lift your glutes, you're trying to get leaner, sexier legs, which I've labeled all those because that's the most constant things I get asked to help women transform. That requires a much higher level of energy than what most people do living day to day, doing their 9 to 5, or running their business, or taking care of their family. Like, that alone already takes a high level of energy itself, right? So in closing, if you can just make a note of these 3, the first thing that we want to ask you to do is, after this close, like after the close of this call, or even now, take a second and just ask yourself, what do you believe about yourself, about your capability? Like, some people are here because they just want information. And some people are here because they're on the fence. They're like, yeah, I kind of want to do this, but I don't really know. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Like, I say to Helen all the time, I'm not your boss and I'm not your mother. So I'm not telling you what to do here, but I'm giving you options so you know how to better go after the goals that you want. For you, ask yourself, what belief do you have about yourself to transform? If this is really something you want. Because if it is, you'll find a way to develop that. And if you don't know, if you're unsure of how to develop belief, email Helen, okay? toneit50@gmail.com, toneit50@gmail.com. And you can shoot her a message and say, Helen, how do I develop that belief in myself the way you did? Ask her. She'll be more than happy to reply you and share with you what she did to grow. Because when I first met her, I'm telling you right now, that belief level was not there. We had to develop that belief level together. And the same can apply for you. You can do the same thing, okay? So we got BHE. We're done with that part. Now let's get into exactly what she did and how this directly applies to you to make your change. And folks, ladies, I want you to know that, we've only got an hour here. So we're taking basically 30 days of training, knowledge, of education. We're packing it into about 2 hours. It's really important that as you watch this along with Helen and me, please make sure that you got your own notes in there as well. Because after this call, I promise, after this workshop, not only will you have some questions, but you're going to want to know like where to find your answers. And Helen is a great resource. So am I. We spent collectively about 14 years in this industry, just sharpening our skills and being able to share this kind of info with you. Just make sure that you have also additional resources like Google or like any YouTube person that you love to go and talk to or to follow. Make sure you've got them on hand, okay? Because when you get a great idea on how to make your transformation using these tools, you're going to want to go after it as quickly as Helen did. At least I believe that's probably what you're going to do. Okay, so here's what you want to know. Creating that transformation outside of what I just talked about requires that you know one of these 3 things. Which one are you? When I say which one are you, what I mean is all of us, our bodies respond to food and to training and to exercise very differently. And if you want to take a 12-month, 14-month, a 2-year process and drop that down to a 6-month or to a 3-month process of making that change rapidly in your body, you're going to want to know which one of these 3 are you. What I'm talking about for 3 is actually, I'm just going to write M-E-T-A. Meta, that stands for your metabolism. Okay, please make a note of that. Your metabolism. Everybody in the world is basically one of 3 main types of metabolisms. Let me shoot you real quick what they are, and then I'll explain each. Your first metabolism type is what we call an ectomorph. Okay, ecto simply means that you're the type of person who is the skinny individual. It's very hard for you to put on weight. It's very hard for you to put on muscle. You could eat a whole 2 pizzas, 3 pizzas right before bed. And when you wake up in the morning, you might have a little bit of extra tummy fat, maybe a little bit extra on your butt or legs. That's it. But you put clothes on and most people can't even tell that you've gained weight. Okay. If that's you, then you're, in some ways, people call you lucky, because you can eat as much as you want and you don't gain. The problem or the challenge is that when it comes to building muscle, it is impeccably difficult to put on lean muscle. It's almost like you go for a walk down the street and any extra muscle that you built is gone. It just burns really fast. Okay, so there's pros and cons. That's the ecto. Number 2, you have what's called the endo. So that's the counter opposite, okay? Endo or endomorph, ask yourself, are you this kind of person? The endomorph is the individual who easily puts on body fat. This guy right here, I'm an endomorph. I could smell a chocolate bar and the next day I feel like I put on 5 pounds on my butt. I'm being a little facetious over here, okay? But it's not easy. Like, I will eat this. I'm Asian, obviously, and I like rice. For example, I like rice. I can eat a little bowl of rice, like a little, like small, like probably the size of my hand, and the next day my stomach goes, and I'm like, what the hell is this? What is going? Like, it is not fun for me, especially being in the fitness industry, to look at rice and be like, I really want that rice, but I can't eat that much because I look like a pregnant Asian man in Vancouver that 24 hours after, and then it takes me 4 days to slim my stomach back down to normal. It's not fun. There's ways around that, but that is the classification of an endomorph. Okay, that's the tough part. The good part about us endomorphs is that we can also sustain and build muscle relatively quicker, much quicker than an ecto, and it's easier for us to keep it. So if we go running down the street, we actually burn a lot of fat, a little bit of muscle, but we're able to keep most of our gains, right? So that's really important. As you're looking at these 2, ask yourself, are you one of those 2? And if you are, if you look at yourself, you're like, I'm probably this, just type it in the chat box, okay? Because it really helps us for the follow-up videos. Like, we want to share more with you ladies as the weeks go by. We'll shoot it by email or by Facebook, however Helen is communicating with you. But you're going to want to know which one you are. So when we shoot that video over, you're like, oh, okay, this is for me. I'm going to play that one, right? So that's number 2. The third type over here, this is more rare, I find personally. So if this is you, let me know. MESO. MESO, what is that? That is called a mesomorph. I like to call them the Superman types or the superwoman types, the Supergirl types. Well, why, Allan? Why do you like to call them super? It's because their bodies are generally like this. no matter how little or how much weight they gain, they always have some version of this shape of body. Yes, that's supposed to be somebody's head. Horrible drawing, I know. We'll just roll with it, okay? There we go. So all this represents is no matter how much weight they gain or how much they lose, you're going to notice a mesomorph is a mesomorph because their shoulders to their hip ratio is generally broader. Now, this is more obvious because it represents broad shoulders and a lean waist. Sometimes the ladies will be like, well, Allan, well, what if I've gained a little extra around here, around the middle? Or what if my shoulders have extra body fat on them? We get all sorts of body types. All you got to know is when you look in the mirror, are your shoulders broader than your hips? If you have any form of a V shape, you are most likely a mesomorph. If you are very thin looking when you put your clothes on, and if you gain a little bit of body fat when you overeat, then you're probably an ectomorph. And if you're like me, where you have a big cheeseburger, a burger, rice, and then the next day you're like, oh my God, I swear, I feel like I'm 20 pounds more than I was yesterday, then you're probably an endomorph, okay? Now, those are the three, and that's really, really important because when we go on YouTube, when we go on Facebook, when we listen to other people's advice, it's super common that we always hear things like, well, you got to watch your calories. You got to train 3, 4, 5 days a week, whatever the case is. You got to have your protein. Well, great. But does that blanket of information apply to you and me and be effective from a general perspective? Like if I take Helen's advice of have protein and have calories the way she says it, that works well for her, does that mean it will work well for me or for all of you? The answer is yes and no. And it's yes and no because, look, at the end of the day, any kind of shift in the way that we eat or train or work out or do fitness, it's always going to be a benefit, right? What we've learned is that the general blanket of information, like if this is the beginning and this is the goal, the general stuff that we hear will get us there, right? Like if all you did was eat better, I do this because I always hear that a lot, we eat better, and then you do some fitness, well, you'll hit your goal no matter what. The question that we've always asked, me and Helen, is, well, what if that's the beginning and this is the goal, what if we can get the goal to happen over here? Let's say that this is the course of 1 year. Does everybody have to go through the same thing where they have to go through the same process? And in most cases, they have to wait a year in order to see that transformation, in order to see that leaner, more beautiful result? Well, no. Okay, so how do we shorten that? Like, how do we make that process happen faster? We make it happen faster by all you got to do is know which one of the three are you, right? And then number 2, you just have to train and eat according to what your metabolism will most effectively do. That's it. Like when I first met Helen, I realized immediately that she was an ectomorph. And folks, real quick, ecto, endo, meso, all that stuff, all that technical term, that'll change for you as time goes by, which is why it's nice to have a trainer, a coach, or someone to just talk to find out, like, where am I? How am I starting? When Helen first started, she was an ectomorph. She was burning calories like crazy. You know, she looked great in clothes, but as the story goes, when she put on a dress, she would constantly complain how her butt looked so flat. I can say that because she's said it thousands of times. So this is nothing secret or new. Don't kill me, Helen. Thank you for letting me share again. she would always complain that she had to be very picky about her clothes because she didn't feel good being age 49 and feeling like she was 49. I mean, ladies, how many times have, and you don't have to say it here in the chat or anything, but just answer it for yourselves. How many times have you put on an outfit, a piece of clothing, and just looked at yourself and felt like, okay, like this is good, but something inside of you goes, no, I got more than this. I can be better than this. Like this is great the way I am, but I'm not satisfied, right? Like that's where Helen started. And that's super important because the moment she realized, okay, I'm making my change, instead of just going out there and just work and rabbit food, she decided, okay, I'm going to find somebody that's going to help me take this process and cut it down to half. If you get to know Helen after this Zoom call, one of the things you're going to recognize about her, which I think is super valuable, I thought it was crazy when I first met her, but now I know it's valuable, is she will never take something that's supposed to be this long and be like, okay, that's cool. We're going to get from here to here, and we're going to take this much time. Great. She always goes, how can we do it in half the time? I want it in less time. Helen, did you just give me a nod or a shake? Did you tell them about the argument that we had during your first competition when I said, okay, you're going to need 6 months to get ready because all those women you're competing with, they're going to be like, they've been training for years, woman. And you've only been at this for, at the time, it was like 6 months, 7 months. You said to me, you want to get ready in how long?
3 months.
Yeah. And we argued.
Time is so important.
And we debated.
Time is so important. You go all in. I
She was
don't
nuts.
like
She was nuts.
dragging everything longer if I can do it all.
Yeah, no,
faster.
It was super crazy. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. When I first met her and she gave me that little piece of information, I thought, woman, you crazy. No, we can't. I'm not going to put you on a stage with other women who've been training for years and you want to make this happen in half the time. I felt like I was going to, fail her. And you know what? She proved me wrong. She proved me wrong. Not only was she ready in 3 months, which again, this applies to you. It's why I'm sharing this story, because it has to do with the belief. It has to do with knowing which one of your body types you are, like your metabolism types. Not only did she manage to get it done in 3 months, but she also ended up becoming second place. Second place, her first competition ever, her first body transformation ever, never getting into the gym until she was 49 years old. On stage, a bikini fitness model stage by age 50. And she ends up getting second place. That is huge. And I'm sharing that because I want you to know that knowing your metabolism type, that's why results like that happen, is when you know where you're starting and how to start. And number two, because you know how you're starting, it really can help shave down the time. So if you don't want to wait 7 months to see your amazing 10 years younger, 15 years younger, 20 years younger physique, you don't have to wait that long, as long as you know exactly how you're starting and what you got to do to get there, right? So let me go back on this real quick. So we know now that you got to know, or at least be somewhat aware of, which one of the 3 metabolism types are you? The second part of this talk, sorry, let me go back. Because of the lack of time, like I'm really watching for time, I respect all of your time. And I want to make sure we don't take this 2-hour session and make it 8 hours. It's important to watch your time. I'm going to ask that all of you Google at the end of this call, what is an ectomorph? What is a mesomorph? Okay. What is an endomorph? Like, you should know those 3 definitions. Super important. Helen, you're on mute, so feel free to unmute yourself.
I have the slides for them, and it's my
That's
big
cool.
apologize. I have them, the different body types. I was going to present it to them.
That's
so
cool.
I wanted to save their time. That's the goal, right? So
that's cool.
I am offering everyone a one-on-one session with me again, and then I will show them the slides. Again, big presentations.
Sweet. Perfect.
I planned up this somehow. I can't even find it.
That's totally fine. It happens. Technical glitches, right? It's all good. So you see how much this woman cares about you, ladies? Like it's crazy how much she really tries to pour out. I appreciate her so much, because somebody else could be like, I forgot it. Oh well.
And I can explain their body types and all those things for them if they're busy.
Right. No, that's probably, I remember you putting that together.
I love to do. I wanted to do that myself.
Definitely. No, thank you. Thank you for jumping out and saying that. No, definitely. At the end of this call, ladies, remember toned50@gmail.com. Toned50@gmail.com. If you want that presentation portion from Helen, where you get to see the endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph, and you get a visual plus a description, email her, tell her, hey, I'd like that, please shoot it over to me. She'll be more than happy to send that over to you, okay? So you got to know which one of the three you are. Now, the second portion of this, okay? This is the stuff that before I draw this out, know this, you're not going to see this very often on Google. You're not going to find this very often on Google. What I'm about to show you is simple, expected to be simple, but not common. And you'll find out in a second. And I'm telling you this because A, it's super valuable, and B, I actually don't know why people don't share this. I think it's one of those, like, only if you're in the circle, then you kind of get to know that kind of stuff. But you're in our circle now. So I want to make sure that you understand this. So when you go out there and you're like, okay, I'm making my change, you look for these three factors after you know exactly which one of the metabolism types you are, okay? Making a transformation requires three major components to activate your metabolism, to start melting off body fat, to start increasing your lean muscle, not so you have big, massive muscles, but so you get small toned muscles the way Helen's been able to develop hers as well, okay? And it goes like this. The first thing they need to know is you're going to need, and we talked about this earlier, we'll touch on it some more, you're going to need another level of energy, or an energy resource. Nothing happens without energy. If you don't have enough energy to go after your goal, the goal becomes a wish, it becomes a dream, it becomes something that we only hope that we get. But only daily activity gets us from where we are to where we want to be, right? Number one. Number two, you got to have some sort of training, all right? But the training program that you have also has to fit your metabolism type. Okay, so it's not just eating that propels your fitness. It's not just your metabolism, but it's also the way that you work out. Quick example, Helen is a ectomorph, or she was an ectomorph type, right? When I first met her. Meaning that in order for her to get to that fitness level, she could not do high volume, high rep type of work. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen this, but like CrossFit people, for example. Any of you guys familiar with CrossFit? Yeah. So CrossFit, they do hundreds, like their warm up alone is sometimes like 200 push-ups, 300 sit-ups, 50 to 100 burpees, go run 1 mile and then come back. Okay, now you're warmed up. Now we get to the real work. Like, whoa, really good. But for growing muscle, for growing lean muscle and melting body fat, no good. Not for an ectomorph. Why? It's because she can smell it. She can eat a pizza, walk down the street, come back, and the pizza's gone. It's gone because she burns calories at such a high level. So her training regimen in the beginning actually required doing heavy weights with very low reps. Now, that's just an example. We did that because we knew that's what her body needed. You need to know the same, okay? So what's your training type? So one more time, you got energy, you've got training, and then you've got recovery. That's an R. It's supposed to be an R. Kind of looks like an R. I'm hoping it's an R. Okay. Recover. What do I mean by recovery? Well, let me tell you what it's not, okay? It's not just, oh, let me get 8 hours sleep. Oh, let me just drink my water. How many of you, ladies, have managed at least at one night, maybe two, or maybe consecutively, to get at least 8 hours sleep? And yet, when you wake up in the morning, you feel like, it's so hard to get out of bed. Yeah, right? Dottie, I see you. I see you. Yeah, Helen was the same way, right? How many of you have managed to get 6 hours of sleep and just feel like, oh my God, yeah, Marlene, there you go, right? We've all gone through that. Ladies, guess what? The conventional, just real quick, I should have said this earlier. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. So don't take this as medical advice. I have been doing this since 2007. I'm a self-defense instructor and a fitness coach. Both of them require all three of these to be effective. So I'm coming from personal experience, not from medical advice. That's just a disclaimer. I had to put it out there, okay? When it comes to recovery, the conventional wisdom of, oh, you need 8 hours, in my opinion, is a myth. It's a myth because it's what we all commonly hear, and there is some truth to that. But when you look at professional athletes, many of them don't actually get regular 8 hours of sleep. I'll use a great example that's just common. Everybody knows Arnold Schwarzenegger. Who doesn't know Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Like, come on, you'd have to be not from this planet to not know Arnold, right? One of the things that he's always said is he says, when you're going after your goal, sleep less. Oh, but I need 8 hours. He goes, oh, no, you don't. You just got to sleep faster. Just sleep faster. Sleep 6. And for the longest time, I was like, sleep 6? Who the heck sleeps 6 hours and still manages to grow? Like, how is that possible? The muscle can only grow when we are in a deep sleep. Okay, make a note of that, please. You want to see your body transform? Your muscles need deep, not just sleep, deep sleep. It's called REM. I can't get my other finger up there. M. Okay, rapid eye movement. REM. REM sleep. The average body needs a minimum of 4 hours of REM sleep in order for the muscles to recover. And get this, when we knock out, like, oh, I'm knocked out, we don't get the REM sleep right away. There is 4 stages of sleep. Don't ask me for all of them because we're running out of time. But there's 4 stages of sleep in order to get to that portion of REM sleep. And only in REM sleep does the muscle fibers that you've broken down in the gym, only then do the fibers actually start to come together and repair itself and look leaner and become stronger. Right? So why am I digging into this so much? It's because your metabolism type requires a certain kind of REM sleep. Like, to get there, there's a process that you need to know. Now, like I said, you can't find all of these on Google, but I'm going to ask all of you, and Helen, do me a favor. Do you have, I have to check in with her, ladies, because I didn't get a chance to see her entire presentation. Did you have that in your presentation, or should we just add that for the did you talk about this portion at all?
I couldn't bring it up. I prepared everything and I couldn't find it to Zoom. It disappeared on me. I'm going to do another one. Maybe I'll record it and then send it over.
Yeah,
I love the one-on-one to make
totally
up for today. It was chaotic.
Totally fine. Yeah, no problem.
Don't worry, ladies. You're going to get one-on-one and we will work privately for.
No problem. That's perfect. That's perfect. Ladies, if you want to know how you can get to REM sleep faster or how you can get better quality sleep, again, toned50@gmail.com. Email Helen and subject title, help me get better sleep. Help me get better sleep. Put that in the subject title. Helen will know what to do. She'll shoot it over to me. We'll get you amazing pieces of info on how to improve your sleep quality, how to do it on less than 8 hours. Because come on, let's face it. We live in the cities. We are busy people. Who's got time for 8 hours of sleep every single night? I don't. Helen, no, yeah, right. Not happening. She's a busy woman too. And so are all of you. Regardless of, you've got to be able to get to that stage where when you wake up in the morning, this is how it should look like when you wake up. Okay, pretend I'm a female. I know, kind of hard, but just pretend I am. And I'm sleeping like this. And it goes ding, ding, ding. I'm like, oh, I'm up. Let's go. That's how it should feel. Literally. I know. Marlene's like, no, it's not. That's not happening. I don't think so. My friend, let me tell you, let me share with you. I spent 30 years of my life waking up, slamming my alarm clock. I no longer have an alarm clock because I used to break them. Now I use my phone because when I wake up, phones are expensive. I won't hit my phone. I'll just lightly tap it, right? But I used to have 2 alarms and I used to set up my alarms on the other side of my bedroom. So I would get up and have to physically walk over to make sure I didn't just slam it and go back to sleep. That was 30 years, 30 of my life. After I learned how to properly recover during my sleep process, not only do I only need 1 alarm, but now at 44 years old, I can wake up many times minutes before my alarm kicks off, and I feel totally alive. Like there's like 30 seconds where I'm like, oh, I gotta get up. But as soon as I get up and I wash my face, let's go. And ladies, just so you know, I'm like many of you. I'm sure many of you get up early as well. I am usually up between 5:30 and 6:30 a.m. and I work until 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. depending on the day. Not because I have to, but because there's this group, and then I have to run the social media for Helen and myself, and then I have to get the video editors to work on our stuff for us, and I got to get the content writers to write the content. I'm overseeing everything. I'm sharing that because there's no way in heck I could keep up my fitness, help Helen with hers, run all the programs in the company, and still have enough energy to go home to my family, to my daughter, spend time with them, play video games with them at 10 o'clock at night, which I do. They totally beat the crap out of me, by the way, but it's okay. You know, it's like, it's bonding time, but they beat me. I'm like, I'm going to get better at this, but I wouldn't have that energy. And I want to make sure that you guys understand, that you ladies understand, that energy factor is super, like all 3 of these have to be together in order to create this Helen Fong result that we see today. The cool thing in closing is that it's available. It's available. It's available to you, to you, to you, to you, to you. You just have to know how to use this based on, in closing one more time, you just got to know, what's your metabolism type? You got to know that. If you don't know, Helen, I'm going to make you really busy. If you want help, Helen will do it. Okay. Email Helen. What's my metabolism type? Subject title. I'm saying that for subject title because then she can go through all the emails, she can gather them, and then she can shoot you out responses much faster than if it's just a generic subject title. Okay. If you want that from Helen, if you want some help, let her know. But you want to know, what is your metabolism type? From your metabolism type, you then get to find out what is the training system that's going to work best at this stage of my process, my body, because it will change. What is the best recovery plan? So like, what kind of sleep do I need? Do I need more protein? Do I need less? What kind of protein do I need? Right? What kind of foods do I need? Right? And then thirdly, the last part is your energy. What kind of energy sources can I utilize based on my metabolism type in order to get me from where I am to where I want to be? Now, energy could be anything. Real quick in closing. Some people, they can have, like, she has coffee. Some people love caffeine, some hate it, right? She'll have coffee first thing in the morning. She'll have a little bit of oatmeal sometimes, maybe a little piece of toast, and boom. Hour later, she's doing 2 hours, 1 hour with me, and she goes hard. She goes pretty hard. If you haven't seen some of her workout videos, like where it's not fancy in the music, but instead you see her like grueling and she's like, oh my goodness, this hurts so much, but I really like it. Those are worth watching. Okay. Her energy output is enormous for someone who's only 5'3" at 115 pounds. And you can do the same. Okay. Energy. So in closing, I'm going to ask that you memorize those three, know that that's what you got to go after, and go on Google and do your own research for how to raise your energy, what's good for you, what's not. Do a little bit of research. And then I'm going to ask that you connect with Helen again and have her fill in the blanks that you don't find for yourself. And hey, if you're that type of female, that person that goes, hey, you know what? I don't want to look. I just want Helen to tell me. Shoot her an email. Helen, tell me everything. And she'll connect with you. Okay. She is such a caring woman that it boggles my mind how she's able to manage her own fitness, have her family that she takes care of. She's got 3 kids and she still takes care of herself and all the people. And now all of you here as well. Like it's really an amazing feat to see her manage everything and still put a smile on her face. Right? You got to admit that's something. So what are we gonna do from here? We're gonna open up here for some quick Q&A. If there's any questions you want to ask us here, great. If there isn't, then I think Helen's gonna have some closing statements, and then we're gonna wrap it up for today.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Helen.
Come on, rescue me. I have all the presentation, everything ready. So I don't know what happened. So I'm offer everyone a one-on-one with me. We work out together, and then I can let you know like the level for yourself. Hi, little kid.
Arlene, the kid's so cute.
You can ask me any questions, and I will. Maybe perhaps later I will do an individual. I'll record myself with the slides. But it's nice. I love the people. Right? When I'm talking, they ask questions at the same time. So that was the goal. So let me figure out what the best way to get the presentation to everyone and work out with you at the same time. But I love you guys, ladies, so much. So I would love to just enjoy the time with you one-on-one. So we will figure it out. Email me, or maybe I'll give you my number here. And I do WhatsApp. I am going to give you my number right here, 604-603, and then we can schedule a private session together. Right, here we go. Here we go. That's what I will have to do because of the mess with the music wasn't there, everything, the slides. So, and the ladies has been so good, and I appreciate that. Thank you. So, and you, Coach Allan, thank you again so much. So I think that I have taken enough of everyone's time and the patient. They were so patient. There were moments I was just stuck there. So, okay, let's have questions for Coach Allan. I know it's past a little bit time, but
okay, a few minutes should be all right.
Yeah, so any questions you have, ladies, for Coach Allan?
Ladies, you can either type it in or you can just unmute yourself if you want to. It's up to you.
Marlene says she cannot unmute herself. Can you?
Oh, you should have controls over that, Helen. You're the yeah, just click the little three dots.
I try.
Little 3 dots in the corner.
The 3 dots, right? Okay.
Yeah, you should be a little unmute in there. Yeah, right at her window.
Yeah, now I can. Thank you.
There you go. Hey, Marlene.
Okay.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for having us, Helen. I do have a question because of what I was just sharing with you, Allan. Because of the energy level being so low at the moment, I am actually doing, like, I don't know how you call it, like it's a type of like a holistic medicine thing, because I go to the doctor, they don't find anything out of order, you know, everything is kind of normal, and it's been going on for years, but right now it's just getting to a point that is ridiculous, right? Like I almost feel, because I'm an outside sales representative, sometimes I'm like falling asleep behind the wheel, literally. Like I have to pull over and try to take a nap or something. So it's getting, you know, in the way, kind of thing, on the way. So anyhow, because of that, now the doctor says, you know, like or this, it's really like, I think they are more like a chiropractor, but they look into all these tests and stuff. I don't want to make, the long story short is no chicken, no meat, no this, no that. Is basically becoming a vegan overnight. Right now it's tough, right? I can't, anyhow, I think it's difficult. It's been difficult for me, at least. So that being said, what Helen suggested with the protein powder could be an option for me, but it will have to be, I guess, like plant-based, if that is the case. And yeah, which is great, right? But if that is the case, I have tried in the past things that taste horrible. Like, I don't think I can, I can be consistent with that. So because you guys have so much experience with that, why would you recommend plant-based that doesn't taste like
garbage
or something?
There's a lot. Yeah, no, you know what? I'm glad you said that, because for the longest time, we avoided using plant-based products because of the fact we felt like we were eating a cardboard box. And I'm not trying to disrespect those companies. They're doing the best they can. But it's true. Yeah. You got to enjoy it. Like that's, at the end of the day, 90% of what we consume should be enjoyed. There should be a little bit that maybe doesn't taste so good, but we'll take it because it's good for us. But I mean, especially if you're having something consistent like a protein shake. Yeah. There's two, you know what? I will share with you two quick resources that we have. Ladies, you can make a note of this as well. And the first one that we get our protein source from, if in powder form, is from a company called Revolution. Okay, they're an American-based company. They have an amazing tasting plant-based protein that is super easy on the stomach. Okay, you can. I've been using it now for. I've been hearing about it from my other athletes for a year and a half. But I'm stubborn. If something's working for me, I'm like, I'm not. I don't. It's okay. It's all good. And then finally, one of my athletes, it was like, Allan, just try it. I don't know why he was so adamant, but he was, and I'm so thankful that he was, because once I tasted it, I'm like, this is plant-based. Like, are you kidding me? This is like, it's almost like dessert. Like it is good. Revolution is amazing. Okay. And I just real quick, I don't work for them. You can go there. I'm not making money. If I did, I tell you, it's fine. I don't, but they're so good that I would just prefer you got your hands on it regardless, because they're amazing. Revolution is one. The other one comes from a company called Thrive. And Thrive came out with their own mix of plant-based mixed with a little bit of whey. Some people want the whey in there because it helps increase the volume of muscle, not massively, just a little, where some people only want plant-based. And they're both really, like, you can put them both in water, shake it up, drink it as is, and it's already good. You put a banana in there or some fruit on top. I'm not kidding you, Marlene. It's like dessert. Like dessert. It is so, oh my God. It's just talking about it. Like, I want another shake. It's that good. It's good. It's good. Yeah. Okay.
I use a lot of frozen fruits. Frozen
fruits, right.
Save the day. Before I couldn't eat protein powder, but then I had to take it. So what can I do to make it tasty? And besides, you need fruits anyway for the vitamin in the food. I usually use blueberry. Anything right now, especially winter time, it's hard to buy good ones. So I would go to any department store, just buy frozen mixed food. I mean, and you can have that anytime, and it's cold, right? So, and another thing, I mix it with maybe some nuts. Nuts is good, and avocado.
Okay, that was good.
Yeah, fruits make it sweet, and you do it in the morning if you're gonna have fruits in the shake, so you have time to burn the fruits or carb off. All right. So thank you, Allan. Coach Allan, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to share with the ladies. This is how I did it. I hated it at the beginning, the protein shake, and then now I love it. That's one thing.
Absolutely.
I get used to it.
Absolutely. No, totally. Okay. For energy, in closing, real quick, I just want to throw this out real quick as well, because we didn't touch on this. ladies, make a note of this, okay? This is an actual equation that we all use for our athletes, and it works every time. When somebody is low in energy, there's several factors. One of the most common factors that we find is that most people do not drink enough pure, filtered, preferably, water throughout the day. And what causes the low energy usually is that the body starts to go through dehydration. This is super vital because, okay, here comes my bad drawing again, but the visuals really help. If this is you, and then this is the stomach, right? If you're trying to consume something, but you're lacking in water, what happens is when you eat food, you have your protein, what will happen is that inside the stomach, many times the stomach's job, as we know, is to take the food, break it down, and then send the little parts of nutrition to different parts of our body. One of those nutrition results is to help increase energy. If there's not enough water going through the system, what happens is that the food goes in, but then it just comes out. And the absorption level, let's say you're supposed to absorb, let's just say that you're supposed to absorb 50% of what you consume. This is a total exaggeration. It's just an example. When someone is dehydrated, they may only absorb 10% of what they're consuming, food and beverage. So let's say you're supposed to have 50 grams of protein in a day, but you're dehydrated. If your body can absorb at least 30 of that, you may only be absorbing 5. That's like taking a car that's supposed to drive from one end of the United States to the other, but instead of being on a full tank of gas, it's running on maybe a quarter. It won't go that far, right? So here's the equation that we use real quick. When it comes to water, a bare minimum is simply take your weight, whatever it is. Let's say, for example, for simplicity, you're 100 pounds. You want to take that 100 pounds, divide the number by half, and convert that to ounces. So 100 pounds divided by half is 50 pounds. Take 50 pounds, just change pounds to the word ounces, and you, as a bare minimum, will just consume 50 ounces of water throughout the day. Okay, not one big like jug. No. But just sip it throughout the day, and you will find in most cases, after a couple of days where your metabolism starts to get accustomed to the hydration level, you'll start to notice energy starts to become more regular. It becomes more constant. The feeling of, after you have a meal and you're like, oh God, food coma, I got to take a nap, way low. Like mental sharpness goes up, digestion improves. Like there's just so many benefits that's not talked about enough, but super vital for energy. A lot of them coming from just a lack of water. So if you can just get your water up, or if you are, just make sure you take a little more, top it up. After a couple of days, shoot us an email. Let us know if that helped. I would argue that you would already start to notice an improvement.
Coach Allan, Dorothy just wanted to confirm that filtered water is something.
Yeah, not tap.
Not tap.
Not tap. Yeah.
I put down not tap water.
Good call. Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely. The reason why we don't, for most of you know, I'm sure, but I want to say it just so we're on the same page. Tap water is a 50-50. It might be good, it might not be good. And the reason is because like here in Vancouver, for example, we have a reservoir that's on the north end of British Columbia. So we have a water reserve, and it goes through the pipes, and from the pipes goes right up to our taps. Well, all the way until 2017, I think, 2015, there was no filter. So what happens is it comes from a lake or a river, it goes into our water supply, but there's no filter, meaning that the pipes have lead, has metals. The water will start to collect tiny particles of those metals. Those metals will then come into our body, and the accumulation of those metals can result in a lack of energy and a lack of absorption, all sorts of different problems. Also, sometimes there's bugs, there's parasites. I mean, there's all sorts of weird things that come in through the tap. And the old saying goes, oh, well, we can just boil it. Boiling apparently will cover 80+% of the weird stuff that's in the water. But there are some living organisms that can still stay alive despite the boiling. So if it's still alive and you drink it, well, now you've got something in your body that's fighting for the nutrition that you're trying to feed yourself. There's another living organism in there that's eating your nutrition. So you don't want that. You want to make sure that your water is filtered. Okay. Awesome. 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 They found out that my vitamin D is really low too. Ah, you're so smart. Look at that. You know what? Vitamin D, water, and iron for ladies, commonality for low deficiencies. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I'm just sharing with you what many females have come to us and told us when they went to a doctor, when they went to a specialist, and they came back and said, oh my God, Allan, I didn't even know that I was deficient in all these things. Like when you start covering those bases, you're going to find really quickly how much better you feel and how much better your life just improves. So I'm glad you share that. Thank you. Thank you, Marlene. All right. Any other questions before we roll out for the day? Perfect, ladies.
Lily, pretty. Thank you. Thank you so much for your patience. And I will connect with you individually to set up another time. You have my number. I prefer, if possible, WhatsApp because they're with Facebook sometimes is not so private. So WhatsApp would be better to connect again. Love to share with you more and work out with you. And besides, you give me an excuse to jump around and listen to music. So good excuse for everyone. Thank you. Thank you. If you don't have any more questions, thank you, Coach Allan. And then we will send the recording. It looks presentable because there were a lot of hiccups along the way. And if not, I'll make another one for you all ladies. All right. So I hope you have a good time today. Got some value from Coach Allan, and hopefully my energy would empower you to be more of yourself as a woman, as a mom, as just wife, whatever. I think we deserve to be more, and that's one of the reasons I chose to be here. Give you hope, give people just believe that anything is possible, that you all have the power to have more control of your life. Okay.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Ladies, thank you for being
Yes.
biceps.
Water. Okay, if I ask you to do anything, just drink your water and have quality protein. That's the only thing for now. All right.
Fantastic.
And let me know how you feel in a week. I will again connect with you. Thank you, Coach Allan. So
thank you.
And feel free to message me anytime. Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good day, everybody. Thank you again for sharing time with us. We'll talk to you all soon.
Okay?
Bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.